we are going to be doing is adding in an enemy. So far we've got our player, we've got movement, we've set its position on start, and we've told it it's going to stay within the screen area so it can't hide. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to add in our enemy. Now to do this, we're going to use something called on-game-update. So if I just drag that in, on-game-update every, and you can see we've got a timer here. So we've got something as low as 100 milliseconds and as long as 5 seconds. And I'll show you the difference between those once we've actually made our sprite. Now hopefully you've made your design. If you remember in the planning booklet in the previous lesson, there was an option for 2 enemies. We're going to use one of those enemies now at the moment. So what we are going to look at doing is clicking this here, and we're going to set that one there. So we're going to say set my sprite. Now again, we need to change this, so I'm going to call this enemy 1. So I'm going to click on the drop down, rename, and I'm going to call it enemy 1 and click OK. Great, it likes that. And we're going to then draw the sprite as well, right? So if I click on this, again, this is the same editor as we've used before, so you should be fairly used to it. So I'm going to draw my enemy out now, which is going to look probably terrible, but there you are. So it's going to come out like that. Okay, so if I'm just going to draw this up quickly. Now obviously you can take a little bit more time. I'm just trying to do this very quickly just to show you what you can do, and I'll put that in there. Oh, in fact that looks absolutely terrible. But there you are, you can kind of see what I'm doing. Now I am going back and forth and using as many tools as I can, just put like a bit of a face on this at the moment. Okay, great, lovely. So that's my enemy there. There's one other thing you need to do once you've changed this, is change it of kind and make it then an enemy here. Okay, so that the program will know that this is obviously an enemy and this is the player, right? So it knows there's a difference between them. Okay, so what I'm gonna then do is we need to set the position of this. Now with the player I've set a fixed position, so we can kind of do that as well, but really if I want this spawning, I don't really want it in the same position all the time. So what we are going to look at doing is moving this up and then having it spawn randomly on the top somewhere. So before we go any further, can you add in the on-game update, and then can you add in the set enemy, change the variable there, rename it to enemy 1, create the sprite, draw it out for me, and then change it to kind enemy. Once you've done that, obviously resume the video. So pause the video now and I'll be with you in a moment.